Emil, as the leader of the trio, you are the heart of the band, and you give them the frame, and you are a composer at the same time. How can you manage these three positions in one person?
Very, very nice words. Thank you. Well, I have this very nice gentleman to help me, so then my life is very easy.
Okay.
If you have these two wonderful partners.
Oh, yeah, you do. As a composer, you compose for the trio, you compose for TV, for movies, for films. Mm-hmm. Do you really use the drum set for compositions?
No, I used the piano.
Piano.
And as I talked about in the concert, I have two small children as well. So the time line for my day is kind of special, because I often, if we are going out or something, I could get like when they are taking on their shoes or something, I sit by the piano and there comes a very small sketch, and oh just wait a minute, and then later when they are asleep, I continue. I have a computer with headphones, so I could play quietly. So then short sketches in the daytime and longer compositions in nighttime.
So it's kind of a diary that you use for composition, an acoustic diary.
Yeah,
really?
You could say. And sometimes, of course, with the new technology, you could very fast just, if you don't have the time to write it down, you could just put the recording button on your phone and record it to have it for later.
It's interesting. Tuomas, how did you come from Finland to a knowledge of French wine so deep?
Well, it's a long story, of course. But if I put it short, when I moved out from Finland, I went to Sweden, where I met these two guys and started to play with them. But I also met in Sweden my girlfriend, who is French. She was doing an exchange student, so all the important persons of my life I met in Gothenburg in Sweden. And so she is a pianist, and she got a work in France, in a conservatory in south of France. So we moved there after 2 years in Gothenburg, and until that time I was not especially a wine person, but when you get to the France, and especially when you have your girlfriend's proud father who is introducing from his cave some very nice bottles, you really cannot say no. And so I said yes, but not only yes, I also really got interested, because I really like the French way of appreciating the wine, not only drinking for drinking, but also really talking about the wine, comparing different wines together, and I really completely got into that world.
It's kind of an art, how it's celebrated, isn't it?
Definitely, I think so.
Because it has something to do with communication as well as jazz music has.
I think so, and I think actually so much that I also have composed some music with wine, that are describing wine instead of words, with the notes.
Also es ist wirklich, I have to say it in German, sorry, es ist wirklich erstaunlich, wie unglaublich gut Tuomas über den französischen Wein, speziell den französischen Wein, nachdenkt und wie man mit ihm darüber reden kann. Also wir haben da eine ganze Nacht zugebracht, das war fantastisch. Das wollen wir jetzt nicht wiederholen. We can't repeat the talk that we had in our town about all the different things about wine that we had. And as far as I know, your grandfather was working in the woods, a wood chopper, wasn't he?
Exactly.
So he had some special rhythms that he had on his chopping.
Yeah, well, actually I never got to hear his rhythms, because I was not even born when he was already doing the hard work in Finnish forests. But later on, actually, I composed one song that was dedicated to my grandfather, and the song was following a Finnish very traditional 5-beat rhythm. So that's the connection I found between the woodwork, Finnish music tradition from the Kalevala times, and my own music.
Okay. Max, with these two gentlemen, as a bass player, how did you come along with it?
Well, that would be interesting to hear an answer from the audience, if it fits in. But no, I mean, as a bass player, you try to create some kind of foundation, some kind of solid foundation in the music. Of course, it starts with a composition that's mostly from Emil, but also from Tuomas, and then you want to add to this music some foundation that allows the other musicians to put some sparkling things in the top, so to speak, and then also you want to find a balance between supporting and also asking some questions to your musicians, and hopefully not too many questions, and the right ones. And sometimes it fits together really well. And of course, playing with so fantastic musicians, it makes it much easier. And also, since we have known each other for many years now and been touring for many years, that also makes a big difference, because we feel, I hope you agree, that we feel very relaxed with each other and that we trust each other very much. So I know that if I have a bad day or if I'm struggling with something, I know that Emil and Tuomas will be there. And the same goes for all of us. So this creates what I feel a really nice, solid foundation for the music. And then, of course, it happens in the moment when the music meets the audience, so to speak.
As Emil is the drummer, he should be responsible for the beat. But as he is an emancipated drummer, he don't just care about the beat. So sometimes I have the impression that you just care for the beat. Or all the three of us. I'm not sure if I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you ask these questions, but because I'm not sure that we have not always thought about it that way. Because I think, but maybe especially when you start to play a new song, you have the feeling of who is responsible for what, and then when you play the songs more times, then they find their own life somehow, and you don't have to think so much about who is doing what. You just try to be in the moment and find the music. So
Emil, can you give up the responsibility for rhythm?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like it. It's not,
but I agree with Max that we try, when we play the songs a lot, the beat or the rhythm are somewhere in the trio. But we are comfortable with each other that if it flies away somewhere, someone will pick it up. So if it starts to goodbye, and then Max comes with his foundation. Boom. It is.
Down to earth.
And then it's floating, and that's also my vision of how we, in the best of days, should sound. That you can't see who is doing what, or that it's like just moving.
Yeah, I think somehow the fact that Emil doesn't keep the beat like a clock actually opens up the possibility for everybody breathe together the rhythm, and somehow I see that that's the key reason why this floating feeling can exist with this group.